Jason and I are seriously considering getting a divorce.
And that is why we are going to go here.
It's Disneyland for adults.
You guys are gonna have a blast.
Actually, we have found a great group rate.
This looks like a screensaver. They got fish that you can see through the floor.
I've been friends with Vince Vaughn for about 20 years, and we've produced a lot of movies together. I've also known Jon Favreau forever and have produced a lot of his movies as well. So we've collaborated as a collective for a long time. And when your best friend of 20 years comes to you with this terrific, relatable idea for a comedy that's very smart, already has himself, Jason Bateman, Faison, and Favreau in mind as the 4 actors, and potentially the opportunity to go there, it was a pretty easy answer to say, yes, I would love to do it, and thank you for asking me to be a part of it.
So we got to give a little bit of our day up to talk about feelings. How bad can it be?
My husband got caught in this shark situation.
It's time to get the guns and shoot some fish. I had shark teeth penetrate my skin.
That's it?
Maybe they're marking me for later. I don't know.
It's truly my first time directing, but as a producer, I really had collaborated very intimately. Was not the guy that did multiple movies at a time, oversaw. We would work very closely on a movie together for a year and a half, whatever that length of that film was. So the transition wasn't as much of a jump, and I also had a partner in Vince who, there's no one smarter or funnier, in my opinion, or better with story. He had written the movie, so it was not as big of a leap.
What was it like on set? Was there a lot of? You've got so many comedians there.
Yeah,
Did you get anything
it is.
done?
Yes, it is funny. It is. But sometimes, what do they say? There's nothing funny about comedy. You still work intently, and you're very focused. That mountain there is pretty big, and once the sun would go behind it, you can't shoot anymore. So we had sometimes limited daylight. So you do have to quickly wrangle everybody and say, come on, let's go. But we use a lot of multiple cameras. We like to always get what's on the page, and then when you have, this level of comedians and actors, you want to let them improv and experiment a little bit. So it's nice to give them a chance to stretch off the page and to play with the dialogue and have some fun.
Yeah, was there quite a lot of ad-libbing that made it into the film?
There is, yeah. Not as much. I think sometimes as people think, because they're so natural as actors that it all looks kind of not written or forced. We get what's on the page, and then you do let people improv. Always. I think my biggest challenge the first couple days was not yelling cut too soon. It's like you let them get and then sort of step back and wait, and you'd see sometimes Vince's wheels turning, and he'd have an idea, and then he'd go. And then he'd push reset, he'd go back to the beginning of the take, or he'd try something else.
Remove your mask.
You want to see our clothes on?
I don't have any drawers.
Undress! Is his junk up?
Yeah.
Now it's a party.
You said you worked quite closely on projects as a producer, but for you personally, have you learned a lot in this directing process?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yes, but it was great. As I said, Vince is really partners from script through post, and we're in the edit room together and making decisions, that were on the set later. You always learn a lot. I think you should never stop learning, no matter what you're doing, I think, in life. If I stopped learning, making movies, that would not be a good thing.
I was just thinking, again, going back to the comedians, you've got quite a range of comedians in there, so with cameos as well, like Ken Jeong and Peter Serafinowicz, and
yes.
As the counsellors or the therapists. Was there anyone, it seems like you got everyone, but was there anyone who you also wanted to get in there?
No, we were blessed. We got everybody that we wanted, and they came out. Peter is so funny. I had not really been that familiar with his work, and then we started looking at more and more, and just the diversity of his characters and his intelligence. And he's sort of that classic guy that, puts on one front in the movie, but really there's always more to people than, and so as the movie goes on, you learn that there's a lot more to this guy than the image that he's presenting to people. And he's really a funny man. We work with a lot of the same people, obviously, but it's been nice to expand the group as well.
For a male or female, monsieur?
What would you recommend more for like a nurturing, pampering, motherly energy? Would it be a man or a woman?
So, Joey, do you have any problem areas?
I hold a lot of tension in my upper thighs.
So what does this mean for you now? Are you going to be back in the director's chair? Or?
We'll see. We're definitely still working on this and taking it around the world, and it's been nice to see that audiences are connecting to this. So I think we'll keep this process up. I have a company with Vince and Victoria Vaughn, who's a producer on the movie, and so we're producing a lot of stuff together, and we will continue to collaborate and make a lot of movies, I hope. And I hope that Vince gets to direct a movie. I'd love to produce a movie for him.
Oh, really? Is that?
Yeah, he's a very talented. I think so. He's a very talented guy. He's got such an unbelievable sense of story, and he's a great, gifted writer. So I think he really is the full package.
Give in, give up, surrender.
Who is that?
That's the yoga guy.
Damn.
Allow me to put on something more proper.
Thank God.
Now, who is ready for their yoga?
This just gets better and better.
See, as I gently go deeper and deeper into a stretch.
Fabio, that's enough with the pulsating.
Couples retreat.
This is a great way to stretch.
Keep your chin up.
Yeah, oh no, I think I got it now.